Yep, there we go.
Okay. So today we will understand the ALM. We will understand different concepts of it. We will understand how we create a production model from scratch. Okay. So
Okay.
this is the model that we have. In this model, we can do all the development activities, right? We can create a list, modules, and everything, right? But the model that we are going to expose to the end users, the production model, that model,
Mhm.
we should not be doing any structural changes. So the first point overall is what is structural changes and what is the difference between production versus non-production data. Okay.
Okay.
So structural data means that if whatever we do as a model builder, creating a list module, renaming it, right, creating actions, all that sort of activities can be considered as a structural data, which we do as a model builder. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
this two production versus non-production data, this is very important from an interview perspective. Very common interview question people ask that what's the difference between production versus non-production. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's do one thing. Can you open an Excel or the same sheet that you have, Google
Okay.
Sheet link? Yeah,
Okay.
go to worksheet
Worksheet. There we go. Yeah.
and scroll down and write one side write production data, other side write non-production data.
All right.
Production data.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, you
Uh,
don't have edit access.
no. This.
Okay, I have given the access. Can you check?
Yep, I've seen it.
Production data.
Mhm.
And on C column, just write non-production data.
Wait, yep.
Okay, so in the production data,
Mm-hmm.
you can write list items will not move from dev to prod.
Will not move
Dev to prod.
from where to where, sorry?
Uh, dev dev to prod.
From development to
To prod.
prod.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas in non-production data,
Yep.
list items will move from dev to prod.
Okay.
So what does this mean? So let's
This
say,
means that
yeah,
um in the production data, uh things will move from development to production, right?
it will not move if it's a
Yeah,
production
will
data.
not. Yeah.
And we are only talking about list items, the items that we create inside a list, right? So
Okay.
let's say
Yeah.
if I create a list called employee list and I make that list as production data. So what
Yeah.
happens is whatever list items I'll create in the dev, I may create employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, right? So those
Yeah.
list items will not move from dev to prod during an ALM sync. Whereas if I don't mark a list as production data, I'll say that, okay, this is a non-production data list, right? So those
Yeah.
list data will move from dev to prod. So whatever employees that you might have added in the dev will
Yeah.
straight away move to the production, because in case of production data, non-production data list items becomes the structure of the model, right? And whenever we sync the model from dev to prod, we move the structure of it, right? So whenever we make any structural changes while doing ALM, we move all the structural changes from dev to prod, and all the list which is not marked as production data, those list items will also become structure of the model. So that is the reason data will move from dev to prod, because structural data moves from dev to prod. So in this case also, list item will move from dev to prod. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens is, since in case of production data, list items cannot move from dev to prod, so we have an ability, users can directly add, delete, slash rename the list items directly in the prod. So that is the second point for production list. Can you write it down?
Production, which is
List items will, users can edit, add, delete, or rename the list items directly in the production.
yeah. That. Users can edit, rename the list in production.
Delete also. Delete the list items in the production.
Okay.
Instead of list, make it list items.
And list items, yeah.
Yeah. No, no, delete the list items. You have written list now. So instead of that, just write list items in the production. So in case of non-production data, users cannot edit, rename, and delete the list items in the production.
Edit, delete, or rename.
Yes. Instead of edit, just write add, delete, slash rename.
Okay. Add
Delete slash rename.
in production. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, since in production data, y- list items cannot move from dev to prod, So how will you populate the list items for those lists? You have the capability to directly add, delete, or rename the list items in the production. Whereas in case of non-production, since the data is already moving from dev to prod, right? So
Yeah.
as an end user, you don't have the ability to change the structure of the model. Hence, you cannot add, delete, or rename the list items of non-production data list. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the basic difference between production versus non-production data that everyone will ask in the interview. Very common questions. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's see some of these things live. Let's see how we configure production versus non-production data list. So do one thing, create two lists, one with the name of production data, second with the name of non-production data. Okay. And
Okay.
add three items in each, whatever, just name it randomly, item 1, item 2, item 3, but just add three items in it. Okay.
Mhm.
Do this in
Okay.
Anaplan, let me know.
Okay. Yeah. What? So you said create a list, yeah, here, and create a production list.
Two list, one name it as production list, second name it as non-production list.
Okay. Now you want production list to you want production list to see something. Just gonna edit. But with this list now, Deepak, what do you want it to do with the production list?
Just add three items in both the lists.
Okay. Open, insert, three items. EMP one, two, EMP three. Okay. Good.
Okay. Is it done
Yep.
in both the lists?
Yeah.
Okay. So now by default, okay, go to general list. So you will see a column called production data, right side fourth column, here only.
Yep.
So by default, whenever you create a list, this is false. So by default, a list is a non-production data, right? If you want to make a list as production data, you just need to check the checkbox. So
Yeah, make
check
it
it
true.
for production list, and that is done, right? So now this list has become production data enabled. Okay. So
Okay.
the next thing that we have to check over here is firstly, different types of Anaplan model modes. Second, we'll understand about ALM. So first, let's do one thing. Open a
Open a browser.
browser
Okay.
tab. I mean, yeah. Open another tab
Mm-hmm.
and over here search for ALM Anaplan.
ELM.
ALM Anaplan.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
yep, this one, application lifecycle management.
This
Click
one,
on
yeah.
this. Yeah,
Okay.
scroll down. Okay, so do one thing. It's a small article.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it will just tell you that there are multiple stages of a life cycle of an application. Just go through this article once. There is
Oh,
nothing, not whole, but yeah, I'll just tell you scroll down. So at least this part you should read and scroll down. Yeah, this is fine. How does Anaplan supports ALM? This I can explain it to you. You don't have to read, but at least till here you have to read and scroll down. All of this is simple things I can explain. Scroll down. Okay, you see the model modes, right? This then
yeah.
you have to read. After that above paragraph, then this model modes and offline thing you have to read. Okay. You can skip the ones which is in between, but these are the main ones which you can read. So just take 5 minutes of time and just read this out. This section, model modes, offline models, and scroll to the top. This whole, yeah, up till here, you have to read, okay?
Okay. All this out to, yeah.
This one, yep, up till here. After this, you can skip and you can move to the model modes,
Okay.
the below one, okay? Start from the top.
All right.
Or you can scroll up. Yeah, just start from here. Nothing much, but yeah. Don't
Okay.
click on any links, but just read it out.
All right. Okay. Yep. Done.
Okay. So what have you understood about ALM?
So basically, ALM is like when you are developing, right? When you put in ALM mode, it's like you're able to basically edit any structural change that so development mode, yeah, you're able to change, able to edit, you're able to rename like lists and models whilst you're in ALM, right? But if you now put things into into production mode, not into production, but if you put it into go from development to production. Once you go to production mode, you lock all your settings almost. So no one that's using your model now can change anything that's structural apart from the data. Do you understand? So it's like you lock in like anything that you have created is now locked. You can't change
Mm-hmm.
you can't change the settings almost. Understand? Don't know if I've missed anything. So yeah, here's like, application lives like ALM. Yeah. So you go from design, build to test. So obviously you design, yeah. When you build, you are putting in the data, the models, you're creating the models, you're creating the lists, the list items, you're populating with data. Then obviously you then test. Yeah, test. While ALM is so active, you can, edit, you can remake or whatever. You understand? I'm not sure if I'm making sense here.
So let me explain. So whatever changes that you make, right? You first get the requirement, you do the design part of it, then you do the model building part of it, then you test it, then you push it to the production, you deploy, right? So these are
Yeah,
the stages of ALM. We understand that okay, you need to go through all of these stages in order to finally push a change to production, and that's the most ideal way. Okay.
yeah,
So what happens in ALM is that systematically we push the changes from dev model to the prod model. So what happens in the prod model and how it is different? So in the prod model, we cannot make any structural changes.
yeah,
If we want to make any structural changes, we need to come back to the dev and we need to do the ALM changes. Okay. And then
yeah,
we push those structural changes if we need a new module or a new line item. So that firstly needs to be created in the dev and then it is pushed to production. Okay.
yeah,
So that is the idea behind ALM. So if in interview someone asks what is ALM, have you worked on it? So your simple answer has to be ALM is application lifecycle management. It's the number of steps which includes to push a structural change from dev model to prod model. Okay. And then
yeah,
also explain the difference between production versus non-production list. So without even asking, just mention that if we mark a list as production data, the list items will not move from dev to prod. Whereas in case of production data, if you mark a list as non-production data, then data list items moves from dev to prod, right? And the second difference that if list is production data, then users can directly add, delete, or rename the list items in the production. Whereas sorry, if the list is a non-production data, then the users will not be able to directly add, delete, or rename the items in the production. So the two differences which we have documented, just read that out, just explain it while someone asks about ALM in the interview, because it will give you more time to complete the answers and you are yourself giving away all the relevant points. because all of these are dependent on the deployment. All of these contributes towards ALM. ALM is nothing without production versus non-production data or many other things which you will understand in few minutes. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start with creating a production model. So since our development activities are complete, what we do is we go to revision tag, go to revision tags,
Yeah.
and no, in the Anaplan model.
Right. Here we go. Revision tags. Yep.
And add a revision tag
Mm-hmm.
and name it whatever, v1, v2, v3, anything. Name it v1.
V1. Can I put a description?
That's fine. Just save it. So now our revision tag is complete. So what happens is revision tag stores all the
In the mod.
changes which we have made so far. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what happens over here is the revision tag is done. We are not deploying the model right now. We are creating a production model from scratch. So in
Yeah.
order to create the model, what we do is we click on, you have already clicked on the revision tag. Now you need to
Mhm.
click on create model from revision and give it Juwon learning prod. Open new model. So now this is the production model which is being completed, which is being created, but don't click on anywhere. Still all the settings are editable, right? So how to make everything non-editable in the production? So you see bottom left side, manage models. Click on that. You see
Yeah.
change modes.
Ah, yes.
Okay, click on that. So we have four types of modes in Anaplan model. Just read about the definitions which is written over here and
Mhm.
then let me know what you understood from them.
Okay. So here we deployed. So here we would look at the model as it has been tested, you have given it approval, and you're able to deploy it now so that users can change the data that's inputted, of course, but non-check, but cannot change anything structural. So the model has been tested, it's been tried, and you're able to input data, but that's it. Archived means that maybe you are done with the model, or you don't want to use it, or I don't know, maybe it's not, I don't know what you wanted, so you can put it somewhere where it's not taking up data in your Anaplan's workspace.
Yep. Yep. So archived one is if a model is taking size in the workspace, but you don't want to delete it, you want to keep it, so you archive it so that that
Yeah,
particular model you won't be able to open it, but it's not even deleted. You can easily unarchive it again. Okay.
yeah,
Locked model
yeah,
is when you want to make the whole model in the read-only mode. Each and everyone will not,
yeah,
anyone will not be able to enter any data. That is the locked mode. The one very common
yeah,
mode is the standard mode, which we use in our dev models. So because we want to make the structural changes, we want to make all the structural changes. So in this case, we will make the model as we will keep our dev models in the standard mode. Production model, we keep it in the deployed mode because as you see over here, all the model structure is in non-editable. So users won't be able to create a list, module, line items, anything, because the model will be in the deployed state. So change the model mode to deployed.
Okay. That's now deployed.
Yes. So now this one, what happens in this case is close it and go to modules.
Yeah,
So
you
you
can't
see,
change. Yeah,
we
yeah.
can't change anything. Try to delete or insert a new module.
Let's try to do that. Please enter the name for the module. Let's wait. V V3. Deployed mode is enabled. You cannot change the structural data of this model. Change the standard model structure. Okay, I see. So yeah, you can't change nothing. You can't change. You can't add nothing. Yeah,
Correct. So now the only thing that we can add over here is the
it's data
production list. So go to lists. You have already created a production list. So let's check that out.
production lists,
Open it
production
from,
data.
yep. So
So I
you
can
see
add.
over here, the list items didn't move from dev to prod, and add any random items over here.
Okay, so if I do EMP1, right? Yeah, let's see that.
Okay. So, and go back to the other list, non-production list.
Okay. Yep. Non-production list. If I open this, I shouldn't be able to change
Yes.
MP4, MP5. Yeah. Close mode. Okay. Yeah. I see. So this is production list, non-production. Because we've put production list as true,
Mm-hmm.
we've put production list here as true. That is non-changeable now.
Correct.
Non-production lists, because it's false, then yeah, you can. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So let's see how we can push the new changes. So do one thing, open your dev model in a new tab.
Okay, open my dem model in a new tab. Open this in a new tab, yeah?
Yes. Just the model on top. Select the dev model, right click and new tab. That Geon Learning prod you can see, right?
Oh, here.
Yep, click on this. No, not this click. Yeah, click on Juon Learning. Don't click, but just right click on Juon Learning.
That
This
one.
is your dev model. Right click on it. Okay, no,
Okay.
no, no. I want it to be open in a different tab. One
Okay.
tab dev, one tab prod.
Uh, let me see if I can do this. Uh, no. Okay. Open a new tab. Open link a new tab. There we go.
So
So
in one tab open dev model, the other tab open prod model.
all right, so let's go to this one. Let's open this one as the manage models. John Learn. Where's that one? Dev. So this one is develop. Open.
Okay, go back to dev, add
Mhm.
a new module. Okay, so do one thing. I'll tell
Yeah.
you how to deploy the changes, but you explore it yourself. So in order to deploy changes, first in the dev model, you will create a new module. Okay. Second, you will create a revision tag. Third, you will go to the prod model. Go to prod model.
Mhm.
Prod model. Prod. This is dev. Yep.
Okay.
Go to manage models.
Yeah.
Compare and sync.
Pen sync. Yeah.
And once you create a revision tag in the dev model, that revision tag will come over here in the compare and sync. You just need to click on next, next, and next, and that's done. Okay. So try to push a new module from dev to prod. I have told you these steps, but try to explore yourself. Okay.
Okay. So we are here. Module. This is, so let's go to insert module. Let's put new module. New module one. Okay, that's now been created. We then go to revision tag. Create module. No, add a revision tag. V2. Save. Okay, so that's now saved. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Go to compare. Compare. So if I go here. Is this the one? We'll do next. Next. Is this it? That's your way. Is this no? You want to go from
It's going from dev to prod. So yeah, go to next
dev to prod? Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's right.
and click on download comparison report.
Download comparison. Download full comparison results.
So you see over here, whatever changes that you have made, you have created a new module one, right? So that change is being captured over here. So what we usually do is whenever we deploy any change to production, we review this report as a development dev team. All of us review it, make sure that whatever modules we are pushing, it's part of our work that we are supposed to do. Once we ensure that okay, all necessary modules are going to production, then we click on confirm synchronize. Okay, so once all of us reviewed that okay, these are the right modules which we need to send to the production,
Deepak,
then we go back.
Deepak,
Yeah,
Deepak. 1 minute. Yeah, let me just answer this quickly. Yeah,
sorry.
answer this phone quickly. 1 second.
Okay.
Hello. It is, yes. Hello. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, feedback.
Yes.
I'm back. Yeah, sorry about
Okay. Let's click on preview synchronize
that.
and
Okay.
then confirm. So before you confirm, always uncheck this checkbox because we don't want to make our model offline. We want it to be online for the users. So always make sure you uncheck this and then only click on confirm synchronize.
Okay.
Okay. Click on OK. So now the deployment is done. This is what we call as ALM. Okay.
Okay.
Now go back to modules and you see the new module has been added.
Yes, it has been. Yes. I
Okay.
see. Okay,
So,
this is very good. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I understand that then. Yeah, fully.
yep. So now we will be discussing one very complex use
Okay.
case within the deployment. Okay. So for that, let me do one thing. Let me share
Okay.
my screen. I will explain it to you and then we'll see. Just a second.
Okay.
Okay. I've shared my screen.
Okay.
So this example that I'm going to explain is called hotfix. Very,
Okay.
I'll not say very common, but a good, I mean, a common interview question. Someone, if you are giving interview for a higher role, you are
Yeah.
expected to answer this question. People might ask this question. So this is called hotfix. So the scenario is, let's say I'm working with my team. Okay. Multiple
Yeah.
peoples are multiple people are working on the project, building the model. So what happens is, let's say if I go into the system and we are in the phase one of the delivery, we are implementing the phase one of the project. Model builder one is working, model builder two is working, everyone is working, making all the dev changes. Then phase one comes and we do the ALM sync one and we push all the changes from dev to prod. Let's say these are all the changes. We have pushed
Uh-huh.
this change from dev to prod. Okay. This is here we have dev, here we have prod. Okay.
Yep.
So we have
Yep.
pushed everything and everything is in production now. Now, multiple people are working on something for the phase two release, let's say, but we are in middle of it. Let's say model builder one is me and model builder two is you. So both of us are working. You have made some good new number of modules. I have also made some new number of modules and
Okay.
started making changes for phase two. But
Right.
in between, we encounter a bug.
Okay.
User reported that, okay, this logic is not correct. We need to fix it ASAP, right?
Yeah.
Now the challenge is that whatever work that you and I, both of us are doing, we cannot we can't push existing changes to production as they are not complete and can cause further issues, right? So
Mhm.
this is not the option. We can't immediately fix the bug and push the changes to the production, right? If we do that, these two changes will also move. So in this case, the way we only push the bug fix and not push the changes made by these two developers, we call that whole process as hotfix. Okay. There is a tricky way by which you can just push the bug fixes and all the existing change done by model builder 1 and model builder 2 can stay in the system and without sending them to the prod model. Okay, so that is the hotfix scenario and we have a solution for it. But before discussing the solution, do you understand the problem statement here?
So the problem statement is basically if you're MB1, I'm MB2, we are creating let's say we're making fast changes, yeah, on the same model, but we're working uh we've done different sections of changes. We now come across a bug, yeah. So we want to basically move the changes into the model, yeah, but without moving the bug across. We now do something called a hotfix, which can move the changes, but will not move the bug, if I'm correct.
Correct. It will not move the current development, but it will move the one which is necessary, which is the bug fix. Bug fix will move, but
Yeah,
the existing changes won't move. Okay.
right. Yeah,
So how to do that, right? You see, it's a pretty common scenario. It can happen quite frequently. So today we will discuss the solution on paper. Tomorrow we will implement it because implementation is quite confusing for this. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
for today only discussion on paper. Tomorrow on model we will discuss. Okay.
Okay.
So this is also called as back in time
What do you call
hotfix.
it? Back in time. Okay, back in
Back
time.
in time, yeah. So it's kind of a time travel kind of a
Yeah.
thing that we will do. So
Okay.
let me explain how. So step number one is fix the bug in real time and note all the changes. Okay,
Okay.
quite simple, nothing fancy about it. Also, note the current history ID. You remember Anaplan captures the history of each change that we are making, right? We
Yeah.
saw that in the model. So step
Okay.
one is just fix the bug, note all the changes that you are making in order to fix the bug, and also note the current history ID. Okay.
Yeah.
Step number two, okay, we fix the bug, then what to do? So step number two is revert the model to last deployment history ID. So as I
Is
told
that a
you,
way is that a way of fixing the bug as well? Sometimes, right? If you don't know what the bug is, right, could you just revert back to a previous time frame, and then where there was no bug, and then the start from that point?
no, we don't do like that because you need to fix the logic, right? If you go back in time, you will lose all the data that is
Yes.
being entered by the user. So that's not been the case. I mean, we don't remove, we fix the bugs, but we don't revert the model and go back to the state where that logic was not even written. Maybe it's a new logic that we have written, but that logic is incorrect, right? It can be anything. So most of the time you need to fix the logic. We cannot go to a state where there is no bug in the system. Okay.
Yeah.
So step two is revert the model to the last deployment ID. That is very important step. Okay. We are going in past. Okay.
We're going back in
Yep. Step three, fix the bug again, make all the changes noted in step one. So the reason why we have noted all the changes in this step one is because we have to redo it. So the fix that we have done in the real time, we
yeah.
also need to go to the past and we need to fix it over there. Okay.
Wow.
Step number four, create revision tag and push the changes to production. Okay. So we we moved to the we reverted to the last deployment ID. We
Mhm.
fixed the bug again. We created the revision tag and we just pushed the bug fixes to the prod. The reason being is since we have reverted the model to the last deployment ID, we are now at the phase one when we have released the phase one, right? So during
Yeah,
that time, there were no changes made by model builder 1 and model builder 2. So
yeah.
we fixed the bug over there. We created the revision tag, and in this revision tag, we only have the bug fix. Okay.
Okay, so you
So
pushed the bug fix to production.
yes. So now in the production, we only have the bug fix and not the changes made by model builder 1 and model builder 2. Step number 5, revert the model to the history, to the current history ID noted in step 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the 5-step process of hotfix and how we can just send the bug fix and not the other changes to the production. Okay.
Mhm.
This thing practically comes quite a few times. It's not
Yeah,
like that you will do it regularly, but whenever you do it, you need to be pretty confident about whatever changes you are making because this can disrupt things. If
yeah,
you don't revert the model or forgot to take a note of history ID or whatever it is, right? You are dealing directly in the production. So
yeah,
that way you need to make sure that you are doing absolutely right things. Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Although after one or two practice, it might seem easy, but understanding it first is important. You understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, then you need to understand the actual steps behind it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So this is the hot fix. So in interview, if someone asks you what is hotfix, firstly you need to explain the scenario. Second, you need to give the exact 5 steps which I have written over there. You don't have to say anything more, anything less. If you just speak out these 5 steps,
Mhm.
interviewer will understand that okay, you know hotfix.
Yeah.
Okay. So for today, try if you can implement it by your own.
Okay.
Okay, you have these steps. Give it a try. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll be doing it tomorrow in the next session. But for now, yeah, just do a quick revision of ALM production versus non-production, how we move the data, get yourself comfortable with doing the ALM without any help or without any doubts, right? You should be quickly able to create a revision tag and switching the models, doing the ALM sync from dev to prod, right? There has to be no doubts in it. Once you think that, okay, you understand all of these concepts quite good, then you can give it a try for the bug fix. Okay.
Okay.
And tomorrow we'll do it together.
All right then.
Okay.
Yeah, Deepak, that sounds good. Deepak, another thing, yeah, I was gonna ask you is what was I gonna ask? No, actually, no, that's all right, actually. No, that's okay.
Okay.
You all right?
All right. So that is it for today.
Oh, the Deepak. Oh, yeah, just the Deepak. What? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you have the recording of this of our sessions?
You can ask the other person you are talking. These guys will provide you
Yep.
the recording.
Okay, that's cool. I'll ask them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right then, Deepak. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.